All right, let's talk audio for the iPhone 8 series, 10 series, and 11 series. That entire series of phones lacks a 3.5 connector jack, as we have learned over the years. All right. However, in order to make those phones usable with any kind of audio, Apple has included this jack or this connector, and it's a really lovely connector because it takes that 3.5 connector jack and connects it directly to the Lightning cable, or the Lightning connector, which is kind of sort of important. Otherwise, you have no audio aside from Bluetooth. However, when you're actually doing any kind of pro audio or near pro audio, the Bluetooth doesn't necessarily work for us, so we need something a little bit more reliable, a little bit more useful, and that's where we start to talk about adding in a lavalier mic or a wireless mic. There are tons of wireless mics on the market, and there are tons of 3.5 connector jack mics on the market, or USB mic or USB based mics. However, those tend to be very bulky and very, very, very expensive. So we don't necessarily want to go down the hugely expensive category. Even though there are some lovely mics out there that will do the job. One of those is a Rode shotgun mic, or basically any shotgun mic. The problem with the shotgun mic is that you're going to pick up distortions, anything that's outside of your target audio. So there's sometimes when that's really great, and sometimes when it's not necessarily what we ideally want. So ideally, what we're looking for is a small, compact microphone that can essentially allow us to be mobile, and that's where we talk about today's topic, which is the SmartLav Plus from Rode, Lavalier Go from Rode, wireless Go microphone system. All right, so let's get into what that actually looks like and what it is that we're actually doing here. So I'm gonna basically put all these parts together. So this is my decrepit SmartLav Plus. It goes for about $79 at this point in time on Amazon. It is a wonderful microphone, aside from the fact that it's like I said, it's a little decrepit. I've had to piece it back together, and I absolutely love this thing. The audio off of this thing is absolutely desirable and beautiful. And there's one really cool part about this that makes this a very, very, very desirable microphone. And it's that part right there. You see those 3 black rings? That is denoting that this is a stereo microphone, or it can handle stereo. Even though this is a mono microphone, it's taking a stereo jack, and that's ideally what we're looking for, because without that in the equation, things get a little dicey, as I'll show you in just a moment. So what I learned over the years, what I used to do is I used to take my iPhone 6s Plus and connect these two things up, and then put it in my pocket, and then shoot with another camera, which is all fine and well and good. And it gets the job done. I get an external audio source that I have to link up to my video source in post. And that served its purpose really, really well. There's just one little tiny problem with that. Sometimes that doesn't necessarily work. Ideally, what you're looking for is a singular audio source that can pair directly to the camera in question in this case. Right now, I'm running off of an iPhone 11 Pro Max, and you're hearing the audio from the front-facing camera. Which is great. I mean, that the audio that's coming off of that is very lovely, but ideally we're looking for something a little different. The focus of this is really just to give you an overview of what it is that ideally what you want to do, which is to be able to step away from the camera and to have clean audio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step away from the camera, and what you're hearing and seeing is less than desirable audio. My voice has essentially disappeared, even though you can still see me. So if I had a SmartLav a SmartLav mic, what it would allow me to do is step away, but you'd see the wire, and basically I'd only be able to go away from this about 3 feet, and that doesn't necessarily help us all that much. Even though if you had an external device, it would allow you just to basically do what I used to do, which is just to plug this in, like I'm going to do right now. I can really grab that cable, plug that in, and then paste this to my lapel, stick this in my pocket, and things work just fine. It gets the job done. So this is where we start to talk about a wireless system. And when we're talking about a wireless system, wireless systems can be very, very, very expensive. At the low end, about anywhere between $300 for a, shall we say, less than desirable system, which is very bulky and very heavy. Anywhere upwards of about $2,400, and anywhere in between, and it gets a lot smaller and a lot more robust, but you're paying a premium for basically what I'm about to show you for about $199 or $200. And that's where we talk about this guy, and that's the Rode Wireless Go. This is a wireless microphone system, which consists of a transmitter, a transceiver, and a transmitter. Transmitter with an embedded, right there. You can sort of see it right there, with its own microphone. This is a lovely system, and it pairs really well if you have the right connectors, which I'm about to point out to you. That pairs really, really well with an iPhone. There's just one little tiny problem with this setup, and that's this guy. So I can paste this on, attach it to my lapel, and it's not just one problem; it's actually two. It not only are you advertising for Rode, which most people don't necessarily want to do, but more importantly, that when this is attached to your lapel, this right here, this microphone is going to ruffle with, if your lapel moves in any way, shape, or form. All right, so what you're hearing is the Rode Wireless Go, and now I'm going to attach it to my lapel and listen to what happens as that happens. So if you didn't necessarily hear it, listen to that. Not to mention it's a little bulky, and it's even though it attaches very securely to your lapel, you're going to hear that ruffle in your audio, and we don't necessarily want that. We actually want to do something else. And that's where we start to talk about pairing the Rode Wireless Go with another microphone, and that's where we talk about this guy. And that's a Rode Lavalier Go, and it's specifically designed for this setup. There's just one little tiny problem with this guy, and I'm gonna bring it right to your attention right there. You see those two black rings? Well, those two black rings, if we were to connect that to our Apple iPhone, iPhone 8, 10, or 11 series, it does not matter. If we connect this, and it fits perfectly, it connects perfectly, unfortunately, the iPhone will not recognize this setup in any way, shape, or form. So we can't use this directly into our iPhone. We need something else, and that's where we start to talk about a cable that Rode sells that pairs very well. So if I were to connect this into my microphone, yeah, that works just fine. However, unfortunately, the connector that comes off of this, which is this guy, and you'll notice two black connectors, and look at I'll show it to you very clearly. What do you see? You see two black rings, yes? This is the cable that comes with the Wireless Go. So if we connect this into here, this will not work when you plug it into your iPhone. It is absolutely impossible to make this work. It will not function in any way, shape, or form. This cable comes with the Rode Wireless, Rode Wireless Go. Under any other circumstance, it would work just fine, except for not with an iPhone. So what do you need? That's where we start to talk about this guy. And you'll notice that there's something a little different here. You see this guy has two black rings, and this guy has three black rings. Those three black rings fit perfectly here, which allows the iPhone to recognize that there's an audio device that it needs to talk to. So we would plug this now into our transceiver. That's the transceiver right there. And that's how do you know it's the transceiver? It's got this little LED little LED that tells you, basically all the feature set of the damn thing. Right now, it's looking for. You can see this right here, that it's looking for a connector. It's connection. So let's turn this on. Hold on. There we go, and it just recognized it. Yes, I know that's upside down. There we go. All right. So now it can actually see and it's automatically paired for us, and we're basically all set to go. So this would be the ideal setup. There's just one little tiny problem with this. Don't get me wrong. I've used it. It's fabulous. It's wonderful. However, there's just one little tiny itsy bitsy problem, that if you own this microphone, the Rode Lavalier Go, the problem with it is that you have to use this entire setup in order to use this microphone. Useless. That's where we start to talk about this guy. So that if you want to, I know it looks janky. I know I haven't ordered a new one, and I need to go get a new one. If you order the SmartLav Plus, you'll have the flexibility to use whatever microphone system you want to use. If you want to use it with a spare iPhone that you have laying around, great. If you want to use it with another microphone recorder, great. But this kind of sort of limits you, and we don't necessarily want that. This is, believe it or not, this is actually cheaper. It's like $79. This is like $99 in the United States. So yeah, do the math. Save $20 and get a better microphone. To be honest with you, this is a much better microphone. They are supposed to be, the specs on this are actually supposed to be much better than this, but I actually like the fidelity that comes off of this microphone. The only reason that I'm not using this right now is because the wire has become essentially loose into the connector. So basically it's toast. So if I plug this into an audio source at this point, you're gonna hear, so I'm not gonna plug it in. So now I want to show you what this actually sounds like. All right, so what you're hearing is the Rode Wireless Go, and now I'm going to attach it to my lapel and listen to what happens as that happens. So if you didn't necessarily hear it, listen to that. Is that ideal? Probably not what you're looking for. So this is not what we're looking for. We actually want to do something else. All right, so what you're listening to is my voice far away from the camera, and that's because I'm using the Rode Wireless Go at this point. The transceiver is connected directly to the iPhone, and the transmitter is connected to me. So what I've done, so that you can clearly see this, is I've connected the transmitter to the Rode Lavalier Go, and it's run up underneath my shirt. So let's back away so you can actually hear this. So basically at this point, the iPhone has stopped listening to its internal microphones, but it's now paying attention to this guy, and that's ideally what we're looking for. All right, so now I'm yapping and listen to that audio source, and you're hearing the distance of my voice into the microphone, even though it's a lovely microphone. And you're also hearing the echo of the room. We don't necessarily want that. We want clean audio, and the only way that we can get clean audio is with this guy. Yes, that's what we're looking for. All right, there you go. That's the rub, as it were. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.